So I'm in this Facebook group, and the group is about some spiritual shit. And this girl put in there a picture of her and a guy and was like, can somebody read him or us? I relocated across the country for him, and it's been 5 months of confusion. And this is not about the girl, this is about the situation because this is the reason that I don't offer readings anymore. People use readings to replace common sense, to replace self worth, to replace self esteem, to replace even doing the work. And it just don't work like that. If you've been confused for 5 months, then there's something that you need to reevaluate, and you don't need a reading to tell you that. Because what do you want somebody to tell you? Y'all gonna end up getting married, or he loves you, but I don't know. Because at the end of the day, even if that was true, if you was clear enough 5 months ago to relocate, and then now all of a sudden you aren't clear, whether it's him that is giving the confusion or you that's confused, it's time to reevaluate, and you don't need a reading to tell you that. Or let's say there's somebody that, based on whatever you believe, right? Because there are certain things I believe, and this is the reason I'm using this as an example. There can be somebody that you know you're supposed to be with, and because you know you're supposed to be with them, you just stick around and take anything from this person because somebody told you, or based on your natal chart, whatever it is that gave you that ideology that this is your long-term partner, and this is the person you made a soul contract with in this lifetime, right? It don't work like that, because what if in your destiny there is supposed to be a separation and a coming back together, right? Like, I almost don't even recommend love readings for people, period. And I want to say readings in general, but there are situations where I feel like, whatever. But getting a reading is kind of like cheating, and it's ultimately going to change because now you know. And while you might not think about it every day, the minute something happened, you automatically gonna think like, I remember when such and such said, this, that, or the other. And it's almost like you're going to subconsciously move different because now you know. Let's say somebody say, oh, you're going to win the lottery, and you're not somebody who played the lottery, but now somebody told you that you're going to win the lottery, and because other things that happened or that you were told was true, now you believe this, right? And then you start playing the lottery every day, and then now you realize you wasted money, and the one time that you don't play it is the time that you would have played and you would have won, instead of just following your intuition and doing whatever you normally would have been doing, right? So I said all that to say, readings is kind of like cheating. And while I do think that there are situations where, people want to hear from loved ones, if it's like a psychic medium, or where people need direction or want to know like my purpose in life, and what's the energy around me for this year. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when you go trying to get a reading for every step or every phase in life, and I'm not somebody who's just going to keep taking your money just because you're willing to pay, because people will come back every week asking the same questions because they saw a little bit of movement when you're not letting the energy play out. In fact, you're probably creating resistance in whatever it is you trying to manifest. And so you come to me and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, we just talked about this. I'm going to either tell you the same thing or you fucking it up. One of the two, right? And so I just don't offer readings anymore for that reason, because you can't get a reading and expect to skip all the things in between from where you are now to the end result that you're looking for. You have to do the work. You have to still honor yourself. You can't you have to act like you didn't get the reading in order for it to play out, you know what I'm saying, the way that it's supposed to. Because energy change and things, you know what I'm saying, things can be different. And like I said, once you know, it's going to be different. So yeah, no shade to the girl that made the post. It's just that these are the things that I be like, come on now, people. Like, I know people who would just keep taking your money because you're going to keep paying to get this reading. But I feel like my time is a little bit more valuable than that. And why you in here wasting everybody's time? Okay? So, yeah. And I just want to say real quick, back to the girl. Also consider the possibilities of whatever the reason is that you had the intuitive nudge strong enough to move across the country. So it doesn't mean that you have to be there with that guy or stay with that guy. It just means that maybe that was the reason, or that was what the universe used to get you to move. And now you could be where you belong, but that is going to come down to your own personal work and discernment, right? So, yeah, it's not ever going to be my spot to tell somebody to leave another person. I don't know the situation, obviously. I just think that common sense would say, if I've been confused for 5 months, then I need to figure out what the hell was going on. And if we can't come together to figure that out, then I need to make some clear decisions on my own then, right? But, you know, sometimes the universe got to do what it got to do to get you to where you belong. And if that was the avenue that it took, just be open. Be open to the possibilities.